Something that we don't talk about enough when we talk about intuition is that it's actually often inconvenient or even uncomfortable. And when um, when we position intuition as like this all good, preferable state of being, we miss out on some of the real lived experiences that we maybe don't even want. A lot of my clients know this because oftentimes they were really intuitive as children, and then by the time they come to me, they have shut it down. They shut it down really early because they would just know things that was inconvenient to know, or um, they felt things that were uncomfortable to feel. Um, Even if that wasn't necessarily invalidated by adults in their lives, it just is, like less pleasant to intuit things oftentimes. For example, for me, my own empathic awareness has been really developing over the years, and I was facilitating a breathwork experience just this last weekend. And at some point, and this has happened to me before, but it's at some point during the 3 hour experience, I started to feel really nauseous. And I was like, oh, my stomach feels weird. I don't feel good. I'm feeling, you know, woozy, nauseous. Now I recognize that that's not me. I assumed that it must be somebody, one of the participants. And sure enough, after the experience, somebody came out of their non-ordinary state and reported that there had been a moment when they felt, yes, really nauseous. And I was like, yep, I know. Now I know that it's not me, but there were lots of times while I was still learning about my own capacities and abilities in that way when I wasn't sure. And I thought it was me and I worried that something was wrong. And only later I realized, no, that's something that I just happen to be very empathically attuned to. So, yeah, that's not a pleasant experience. That's not fun for me. I wouldn't want that necessarily, but it just happens to be a feature of my intuitive capacity. Here's another totally different example. And it came out of a meeting that I held the other week. Sometimes you know things intuitively and you don't have necessarily the authority to do anything about it. So, for example, let's say you're at work and you just know, like, that just knowing that a project you've been assigned to, it's not going to work out well. And maybe you're the type of intuitive who can see the whole big picture and you have a great sense of how it's going to turn out. And in this case, you just know it's not going to turn out well. Um, but you don't have the authority to change it, right? There's a manager. And if you told that manager, hey, man, this isn't going to work out well, um, then you would just be like a pariah at work, or maybe you'd get removed from the project. Or, what's your other option is to work really hard towards it. And then, the inevitable outcome might be that it doesn't work out. So it's just like it can be very uncomfortable and inconvenient and create friction, actually, especially if it's not in a domain of experience where you have the authority to do anything about it. I have lots of answers for what to do about those situations. But for now, I think that's enough just to know that it's not always a bowl of cherries to have intuitive insight. So I feel you. If you like this content, subscribe, like the video, and comment and let me know. Has that ever happened to you? Have you had an experience of intuitive insight that just was inconvenient or uncomfortable to know? Okay, see you later.